A shin show.
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 Welcome to a Shin Show. It's the medical edition.
I'm sorry, what? What's up? I was doing a side pot there. Been playing a lot of virtual poker.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not good at it.
You're only playing virtual poker via Red Dead Redemption, though, right?
That's right.
Does that involve actual money or credits or karma or anything that...
Not in real world. You use the money that you get from, like, robbing people and shit, or killing people trying to rob you.
in the game?
In the game, yeah. There's no microtransactions, if that's what you're asking.
That's what I'm asking.
No, just
Are there
money.
microaggressions?
It sounds like there could be microaggressions.
Sure, plenty. A lot of people talk shit when you don't bet enough. The only thing I don't understand is I don't understand when you can check and when you have to call or raise. The game doesn't give you an option between the two if you can't do it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I don't know myself when it's appropriate to be able to call. Do you?
I would say that being the case, you should not take up gambling as a profession for yourself.
Definitely would never dream of it.
I have an idea, but
Check, I mean. Calling is when someone, they bet $10, you have to bet $10, at least.
yes,
But sometimes you can check, which is not betting anything. How do you know when to... You don't know.
I don't. But if the guy before you checked, you too can check.
Yes, I know that. But what constitutes him being able to check?
The bet goes to him first. So if the bet goes to somebody and they say check, they decline to bet, but they decline to fold either, then it's to you and you also can check.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Glad I cleared that up for you.
Blackjack's way easier. Way simpler.
It's way simpler, but of course it's way easy to lose your money.
Sure. Everything is.
It's true. Are you any good at blackjack?
I'm okay. I haven't played any in this game.
I see.
Sarah's joined us.
Sarah, hello. It's been a while.
Did you ever play Red Dead Redemption 2, Sarah?
Like 20 minutes of it.
Or the first one for that? Oh my God. So once you get into it, it's so addicting.
Yeah, that's the problem with most like AAA games is that they're so addicting.
Yeah.
So I try not to get too involved in them. That's why I like little games. That's why I like Nintendo.
I like rogue games too. The ones where if you die, you just start completely over.
Oh no, I hate that shit. Like The Binding of Isaac.
On paper, it sounds horrible,
Well,
but
I've played a couple, but
Dead Cells, that's a good one.
I've heard that's good shit.
It's really good. I mean, you lose everything, but there's certain perks and shit that you can maintain after you die, so it gets like a little bit easier every time, but you do have to die like 8,000 times.
And
Mm.
what game is this?
It's called Dead Cells. You play as this thing that inhabits dead bodies, and then you use it to try to get through this dungeon. through
Okay, that does
multiple
sound pretty
dungeons.
cool.
And you got to do it in one go, or else your host body, if it gets destroyed, you have to go back to the corpse pile and grab a new body and start from the beginning with no weapons and shit.
I know how I would do on that game. How I would do on that game is I would end up in a corner of the small intestine, unable to move. Facing a cell wall, facing a corpse, I don't know, just unable to move. Just moving all the buttons, but not able to move.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds about right for you.
It does.
Sure.
Stuck in a corner. Yeah. Just jumping up and down.
Jumping against a wall. And it's timed too. Like you don't lose if you run out of time, but you get better shit the quicker you do things.
All I can tell you is that, Nick, every time we played Call of Duty Zombies, I ended up in a corner, not able to move.
Staring at the sky, going in
that was
circles.
a bad game to get you to like. I threw you right into the deep end. We should have started you in the kiddie pool.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm still in the kiddie pool when it comes to video games, but sounds
Sure.
like that's a good one.
Yeah,
As is Red... Shit, I can't say Red Rover Redemption.
sure. We'll call it that.
I like Red Rover Redemption. It's the schoolyard classic, only with a Western twist.
Only with guns.
Red Rover, bam!
Sounds
Wow.
very American.
It does. Hey, speaking of
Sure.
American things, guess what happened to us, a Shin Show?
What happened?
We got thrown off of YouTube.
That's right, for spreading medical misinformation.
That's right. We got...
Holy shit, really?
Yes, we violated their community guidelines for medical misinformation. I don't even know why. I appealed it. I said, look, anything that might have appeared to be medical misinformation in the last episode was...
Everything's satire and has disclaimers.
Exactly.
But can I also just point out that when Sarah asked for verification and you verified it, the smile on her face was so cute. She was like, oh my God, we did it. She was so happy. I thought she couldn't even hide her joy.
We did it, kids.
That's what me and Dad said. I thought it was incredibly amusing that we're spreading medical misinformation.
Well, the thing is that I appealed. I appealed and I said, it's clear that any spots or bits in this last episode were intended as satire. And while perhaps in poor taste and not well executed and not worth listening to, were nevertheless
That's like our tagline. Don't listen to this shit.
Right. I mean, but poor quality should not be the arbiter of whether or not something is misinformation. You shouldn't screen my shit due to low quality. No people listen to it anyway. So you're doing a great job of keeping voices off of the internet that no one listens to. Good for you.
Right. Like, who are we misinforming here? Who's the victim?
All 20 listeners.
And not only that, but who would possibly suggest that anything that we put out there was serious? But even beyond that, even beyond whether or not it's serious or not, I have no idea what actual bits out of the last episode were construed as medical misinformation. Was it Jimbo thinks the devil gave him COVID, which I love, by the way. Great bit. You all should listen to the preceding episode so that you know what we're talking about.
Except not on YouTube.
Not on YouTube. Yeah, you're going to have to listen on another platform besides YouTube. It's been ripped from there. Was it wear a mask, asshole, which I think is absolutely
That's the opposite of misinformation.
Exactly. Or was it alien colonoscopy?
That's pretty funny. That might be it.
Or was it a Shinsho super slim diet aid?
Actually.
Maybe. It could be that.
Now you're on to something.
Yeah, that could be. I mean, don't consult a doctor. We're going to fly you to Cambodia and take you to a witch doctor. Does anyone think we're going to do that?
YouTube does.
I guess. In any event, that episode is banned from YouTube. And will I promote this tomorrow? Yes, I will. I will get on all of our other social media platforms and say, here the episode that YouTube labeled as medical misinformation. You be the judge.
Forbidden episode. The Tide Pod episode.
And the funny thing is that the name of the episode is innocuous enough. It's just called Thanksgiving Leftovers.
I like it. That's a good name.
Yeah, well,
It's a shame.
it was a best of. And by the way, it's all stuff we've played before in some other point.
That's what I thought was the funniest.
Yeah, don't tell them that.
There was no original content in that thing. Nothing we hadn't done before.
Maybe it was the amalgamation of all our awful shit together, and that they were like, no, this is too much.
Maybe.
Yeah, the keyword detector was just ringing too many times for
Ding,
this.
ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that happened. We've been banned from Facebook. Our last episode was. We'll see what happens with this episode.
You said Facebook.
I meant
Yeah,
YouTube.
you said Facebook.
I said we've been banned from Facebook.
Yeah, you did.
That's
Like a
the dream.
fool.
Sorry, that's the dream. No, it's YouTube. Banned from YouTube.
He's having some word association problems today. He called a big, giant blow-up Frosty the Snowman Santa. So it's
I did.
it's fine.
Just a little
Santa?
light, fun verbal dysphoria.
Dysphagia. But yes. Or dysphoria too, I suppose. But
Yeah.
I think it's
try to
aphasia.
correct me.
could be aphasia. You're right. Could be any number of things. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not using the right words. How would I
And
know?
yet you're still trying to correct us.
That seems about far for the course, or par for the course. But then the other big news is that Nick was with us last week. And Nick, do you want to tell the story?
So I had my heart's fucked up.
All right, there you go.
I had a kind of an episode, a couple of episodes. I felt like my left arm was just sore, like I slept on it wrong, so I didn't really think much of it that day. And then the next day it was really bad and it spread to my chest and it felt like someone had my heart right in their hands and was ripping it in half. And I don't mean emotionally. I mean physically. It hurt really bad.
Right.
We had
Well-
already done the emotional part.
Yeah. We went to the ER. The doctor shoots me up full of morphine to get me to stop screaming. And then he's like, yeah, look, buddy, we're going to have to keep you here because there's something. Here's a little science for everyone. There's something. It's an enzyme that your heart releases when it's under extreme duress. It's called troponin. If they find troponin in your blood, then you got a problem. You're at risk of having a serious cardiac event. And my levels were 30. I don't know 30 what. 30 units of troponin, I guess. In my
30
blood.
units.
30
Yeah.
Troponii.
So whatever. They said that was a lot. Said it was too much. So I was in the hospital for like 5 or 6 days. So much blood drawn. So much blood drawn you wouldn't fucking believe. Tubes, needles, wires, all the fun stuff. And they determined that I had pericarditis. And pericarditis is the pericardia is the fleshy sac that surrounds your heart. You know, it lubricates the heart movement process. That sac, the pericardia, can get inflamed and that's called pericarditis. And if left untreated, that inflammation can spread straight to your heart. That's in the sac. That's called myocarditis. I have both of those. It's most common in men from age 20 to 50. So I'm in that bracket, and how it's caused is usually by a respiratory infection, a viral respiratory infection that just causes damage.
Not to correct you, but it is a viral infection. Doesn't have to be respiratory, can be, but just a viral infection.
Okay, just a viral infection.
Let's make it more vague.
Or sometimes it just happens. That's also a thing. Sometimes it just happens.
That's true. It's called idiopathic myocarditis. And that's when...
Idiopathic is a big word, which means we have no fucking idea how this happened.
So true.
So they slapped you on the back and said, good luck, bud.
Well, what they said was it really doesn't actually matter how you got this. What matters is that you got this, and we got to fix it. So they gave me anti-inflammatory medicine, and here I am.
Are they big old horse pill ibuprofen, basically?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Giant fucking horse pill ibuprofen. I'm on 2,400 milligrams of ibuprofen a day. And this shit called colchicine, a nice little $33 bottle of pills that would have cost $850 for it, not for insurance.
True story.
And that's pretty much the long and short of it.
But
They were thinking maybe they would have to stick a fucking camera up my something, up my wrist or up,
Up
my
your
groin
ass.
or in my neck.
Wow, I didn't know.
Whatever
Up my
it was.
something.
Yeah, they were thinking they might have to do that to look inside my heart and make sure that it's not just an arterial blockage.
yeah, they call that a cardiac catheter, and they did not have to do that, so that was good news.
Yeah, people may not know this, but I have a phobia of needles, but I also have a phobia of long tubes being stuck needle-like through my body into my heart.
Yeah, I didn't think you could swallow pills either.
Yeah, I'm not great with swallowing pills either. I don't really like doing that. So it's not been great. It's not, been fun, I have to say. When you were a kid, being sick was fun. You
Yeah.
got to stay home from school. You got to eat soup. I had to go to the hospital a couple of times when I was a kid, too. Broke my arm, broke my head, a couple of things. And that was fun. It was fun, cool stuff. You got to lay in a nice high-tech bed.
Oh, yeah.
Then when you get older, it's not fun. It's horrifying.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Because you
Yeah.
think this is the big one.
So the closest thing I can relate to here recently is I thought it was going to be my dog's big one this week.
Oh, really?
He had some surgery.
Aw.
It was all good. He had a great big mass on his arm that we took off or whatever. And
Big old mass. Like the
yeah,
size
it was-
of a fucking apple.
Which
Yeah.
dog is this?
this is the German short hair pointer, the 13-year-old dog.
Wow.
So when I took him to the vet to get it assessed, I was like, yeah, is he going to make it? And the vet was like, yeah, he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Be fine. It's fine.
I just did some surgery on a 16-year-old lab. It'll be fine. I'm like, all right, well, shit.
Nice.
Confident. But, that all went fine. He has little Frankenstein staples up and down his arms. But this fucking asshole would not leave his staples alone. He just kept licking them.
As
so-
you want to do.
And so now he has a cone of shame and an additional $85 fucking follow-up with some antibiotics and steroid cream. The point of this is that Nick's horse pills remind me, Moose now takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pills in the morning and 2 pills at night. Like a true old person.
You shove them all in peanut butter, right?
Yes,
The only way.
which he loves.
Is that what you
I-
also do, Nick?
Nope. I just choke them down slowly.
Although, in retrospect, maybe peanut butter would work for you.
Maybe it would.
Maybe. I don't know. I'd end up chewing them. I don't think
Nah,
these
just
things
swallow it.
taste good. You can't just, you do just swallow peanut. I guess you don't just chew it. You can't
see?
chew peanut butter.
Sure you can.
You got to swish it around in there a little bit,
So this fucking cone, right? He uses it like a battering ram. And he does not give a shit who or what is in his fucking way. And if he touches me one more time with that goddamn cone, Nick was like, Joe, just load him up and bring him over. I'm like, you don't understand. He won't make it there if I have to fucking touch him. My hands will not leave his neck. But every time that fucking cone hits the back of my knees and tries to take me out, I slide an inch closer towards homicidal rage.
So I'm not sure that such a thing exists in Omaha this time of year, but if you get those pool noodles, you can just put them around their leash kind of, and then it does the same thing as a whole cone, but without the cone, which is making them run into everything. Or they make these like blow up collars where it's just like this giant donut around their neck.
Oh, yeah. So they can't like get at whatever it is that they're trying to get at.
It's all the helpfulness of the cone without any of the bullshit of the cone.
I might rummage through our storage and see if there's a pool noodle or two in there.
It'd be
10
worth it.
secret techniques vets don't want you to know.
Number 7 is shocking.
Well, they sent him home with just like a t-shirt, which was fine, but then he was looking through the t-shirt and had to put the cone on.
Right, because at that point you had a wet T-shirt contest with Moose.
It was a cute T-shirt. He did look rather dapper in that T-shirt.
I'm pretty sure he was rolling his smokes up in his sleeve and like, just contributing to the problem.
Why in the world haven't you made that dog quit smoking yet? He's taking 8 pills a day. For heaven's sakes, why don't you wean him off the smokes?
I would, but he keeps hiding them in like the crisper drawer and in his sleeves and blaming it on his 14-year-old daughter.
That fucking dog's an addict. An
I
addict.
know.
By the way, that last comment's a reference to when I blamed Sarah for finding some cigarettes that I wasn't supposed to have. It worked, too, for a while.
Moose has a daughter that's older than himself.
Yeah,
he
I
does.
also
Even
like
dog
that.
years.
But I also need this story now.
You don't need it.
Yeah, break down this confession.
Oh, I can't
I mean,
believe
that
you
was
never
it.
heard this. I mean, it's
Yeah.
pretty simple, yeah.
Bottom line is someone found some smokes I wasn't supposed to have. And I'm like, oh, hey, they must be, my 14-year-old daughters. Because I would never do that.
And then I got grounded.
No, you didn't. You
So
didn't.
why did you have to lie about your smoking habit?
Because
Because he was lying. He said he wasn't
Right.
smoking.
So I had to lie
But
to
he
you.
Supposed
was.
to have quit.
Is that
Right.
behavior becoming an officer?
I don't think I was an officer at the time, to tell you the truth.
Well, that's fair enough. But who did you get in trouble with?
An ex-wife.
An
Wow.
ex-wife.
Wow.
What do you mean, wow?
I just hope you don't lie to me about the children.
To be honest, like completely frankly, I don't remember this incident.
Good.
You just remember that it happened.
Yeah, I like to bring it up occasionally.
To make Dad squirm.
As you should.
Yeah.
Not my best moment.
No,
Not your
Yeah.
brightest, not your crowning achievement.
No,
I
not
don't
at
know.
all.
It worked.
In espionage. I mean, it worked.
but
I'm
at what
ashamed.
cost?
I'm still deeply ashamed. The point is that make that dog quit smoking. Now, Nick and I have been off the cigarettes for now more than 2 months, going on 3 months.
Sure.
Aren't you
sure.
glad you quit smoking before you had this whole episode happen? Oof. Could you imagine
Sure.
like
Although
jonesing for a cigarette
the
during
literature
that?
suggests that smoking has absolutely nothing to do with it. you
Right,
know.
right. But I mean, like, you don't want to have to quit because you're in the hospital because then you're jonesing for a cigarette on top of all the other
Oh,
bullshit.
yeah. That would make my hospital experience so much worse.
No doubt. God, I'd kill someone.
Not to make this all about me, but there's also one little minor itsy bitsy teeny weeny little detail I forgot about, which is the day before I left the hospital, they did a cardiac MRI on me, which is much less invasive than a cardiac catheter. They just take images of your heart, right? So the next morning I get a call.
Now, this is after you've been discharged from the hospital. You're all the way home. The cardiac MRI is supposedly just routine, and they're only going to call you if they find something wrong. So then the next morning, we're fixing for you to go home, and you get a call.
I get a call, and I wake up to my phone ringing. I was sleeping peacefully, like a little baby, you know? And then all of a sudden, I answer the phone. Hey, is this Mr. Shin? Hey, this is Nurse Fuck
Ratchet.
Off. And we're looking at your MRI here. She goes, you might want to get a pen and paper. You're going to want to write this down. And I said, okay. I grab a pen and paper. She says, your MRI indicates that you have an infiltrative heart disease. What? And she's like, okay, yeah, what it is it's probably sarcoidosis.
Yes, you have infiltrative myocarditis. You have an infiltrative cardiac disorder.
Wait, did she say that it's like sarcoidosis?
No,
or that I
she
do
said-
have sarcoidosis.
She said you have to get a cardiac PET scan because we think that you have sarcoidosis.
Yeah, okay. So what sarcoidosis is, if you're too lazy to Google it, like me, is it's a incurable chronic autoimmune disease. So it's like cancer in that it never goes away. It just possibly goes into remission. And, you live with that.
That's what Bernie Mac died of.
Yes, Bernie Mac, thank you.
Ah, really? He died of sarcoidosis?
He did at age of
He died of-
55.
He died of pneumonia-related complications due to his sarcoidosis.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, the lady tells me I have that. Now that is a lot fucking different, a lot worse than just myocarditis and pericarditis.
It is. It's
Okay.
fatal.
And so we're freaking the fuck out. We have to go get a PET scan. We have to further detail. And we're trying to get a PET scan anywhere, either in Nebraska or in Maryland. And it's a big fucking to do, obviously, because the hospitals are all gummed up because of stupid fucking idiots about COVID. So we have to get a referral from the doctor on my cardiac team to arrange for a PET scan in Maryland, because in Maryland, it would be faster. I couldn't get a PET scan back home in Nebraska, so it had to be in Maryland. So we call the doctor. The doctor's secretary answers, and she's like, oh, you need a PET scan? Hang on one second. And then she comes back. She says, no, the doctor doesn't recommend a PET scan. And me and Dad look at each other and we're like, well, the nurse
Come
told
again?
us
At
I
that
have a very
time,
deadly autoimmune disease.
when your cardiologist gets on the line, she says, hey, listen, I don't know who called you. I don't know what they told you, but here's the facts. The facts is I've seen a lot of sarcoidosis and you don't have it.
Well, it was just at first the secretary is like, no, you don't need a PET scan. And I was like, well, a nurse told us
Are
we
you
did. And then the
sure?
secretary goes, well, that was the nurse. This is the doctor. She's telling you don't need a PET scan. So then I'm like, okay, can I talk to the doctor, please? Can we just like clear this up? Because we have two very different scenarios here playing out in front of us. Either I have a deadly
just wanna be
autoimmune
sure.
disease or I don't. So then we talked to the doctor, and the doctor said what Dad said. She's like, no, I've seen sarcoidosis many times, many times. You don't have that.
She also apologized on behalf of the hospital for calling you, Nick, and telling you that you had a deadly fatal disease. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
don't
so
the hospitals have like some sort of I'm sorry committee for this kind of shit? How
maybe.
often do you think this kind of shit happens?
All the time.
I mean, the doctor wasn't. She's like, do you know the name of the nurse who told you that? Could I get the name? And I was like, I wish I would have gotten her name. I was a little too busy feeling a little down in the dumps because I'm dying of a deadly disease, a super rare disease. So I didn't quite get her name on that.
But I'm glad that your doctor straightened everything out. That was quite key. And so later that afternoon, you got on a flight and you flew back to Nebraska at great personal risk, really. But the bottom line is that you had to go. You have a life there in Nebraska. But now that you're back in Nebraska, one of the keys to making sure this myocarditis doesn't become something that's even more life-threatening is you must avoid infection until your heart is healed.
Yes.
So what's the timeline on that?
Well, in 3 months, they're going to look and see how we're doing.
So you'll have a nice big birthday party is what I'm hearing. Lots of booze, lots of drugs, all the women.
I don't think
really getting
so.
yourself out there, right?
I don't think so. You know, like I said, this condition that I have, assuming that this is all that I have, that there are no more fuck-ups, that everybody was reading the right charts here, which I have my suspicions
Right.
of.
There's nothing like one scared to put the fear of God.
Right,
in.
like, who fucked up? Was it the nurse or was it the doctor? Which one
probably
was
the nurse.
at the right thing? So
More importantly-
that's whatever.
What poor bastard missed his diagnosis that morning?
Right. So I don't know. I'm just assuming that everybody is now, unlike before when I went to the doctors for months and months and they told me nothing was wrong. I'm just going to assume now everyone's on their shit. Now everyone is telling me the right thing. I have to assume that, or my heart will explode with anxiety. So we'll see. But, you know, I can't smoke and drink, and I just can't do that shit no more.
Well, and that's the thing. You know, sometimes these experiences are terrific wake-up calls in terms of our lifestyle. Many times it takes something like this for us to say, you know what, maybe it is time for me to make a significant lifestyle change.
Sure. I had been told that I should stop drinking and smoking and partying and shit, but I was always like, why? I don't want to. I got another 20 or 30 years before I have to really start paying for my sins. But
Nope.
yeah,
Sometimes if you spend all your money on it, you just got to pay the piper earlier.
yeah, which I didn't really. I know a lot of people who went and are continuing to go way harder for way longer. But, you know, that's just not in the cards for me.
Poor jeans.
It's true. On the other hand, good genes if you do take care of yourself. There's a lot of long-lived people on both sides of your family who have taken care of themselves. And so there's a lot of hope there. But the thing that you forgot to tell in this story, Nick, is how when you actually felt bad enough to go to the hospital, I mean, the reality is that we weren't entirely sure that that's what needed to happen right away.
Well, yeah, you know, you had your classic
Put her in a
end-all,
bathtub.
be-all
He'll be
of
fine.
get him in the bathtub, get him in the shower.
He'll be
You
fine.
know. You know.
Dust him off.
You know that song and dance, Sarah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Remember when he pulled that shit on you? Well,
Bless
guess
his
what?
heart.
He keeps rolling out the hits because we got right back into that one.
But as we all discussed, after 5 days without a shower, you were glad you had that shower.
Well, I didn't really do much showering. I was just kind of writhing around on the bottom, you know, just writhing in pain in the shower.
Oh, that's
I wasn't,
nice.
like doing any showering.
It's a shame. But nevertheless, I still think you were at least marginally cleaner when we finally decided to drive you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, first thing I did was I made an appointment at urgent care.
For like 4.5 hours later,
Yes.
by the way.
Well, that's the earliest they could see you. And then
Sure.
I called the nurse line just to make sure I didn't need a referral to urgent care. And I described the symptoms, which were, hey, my son, although he's only 24, he's got chest pain and his left arm hurts. And normally I'd say heart attack, but he's so young. The nurse said, listen to me. You need to hang up the phone right now and dial 911. I don't care what his age is. You need to get him cardiac intervention right away. I said, okay.
There's the shout out to the real hero.
Yeah. So I said, thank you. And I hung up and I said, son, we're going to go ahead and just drive to the emergency room right now. Because I didn't want to wait for an ambulance. I figured by the time an ambulance
But
got
you did
there,
want to wait until your coffee was good and ready. I do remember that. I had to make sure you had your coffee, and I'm just sitting there clutching my chest like, hey, can we get the show on the road a little bit? I'm not feeling good.
No.
Listen, that was the last good cup of coffee he was going to have for 4 or 5 days.
Right.
Sure.
So very important. And I did get that cup of coffee, got my shoes on, and then off we went.
Like a herd of turtles.
But we got there and all was well because we followed Dad's important safety tips.
Sometimes, while relaxing on a normal day like any other, you can get a little twinge in your chest. It may seem like you could be on the verge of a heart attack, but you don't want to trouble anyone unnecessarily. How considerate and smart. Follow these tips to help you gauge whether or not the event you're experiencing is a serious one. Tip number 1. If the pain in your chest is directly over your heart, radiating down into your left arm, then good news. This is among the most common types of chest pains. That's why you'll want to ignore it and see if it goes away. When in doubt, tough it out. After all, it's probably nothing, and a real man or woman doesn't want to rile everyone up and waste their time with some kind of false alarm. Don't forget about the boy who cried wolf. If you hold your tongue until absolutely necessary, you're a lot more likely to get the help you need. Tip number 2. If the chest pain persists or intensifies, do not panic. Do go ahead and hop in the shower. While the pain may be excruciating, the sensation of warm water cascading over your body may just spook it away. Any doctor worth their salt will tell you every minute counts, and you'll want to spend those minutes making sure you're clean should you actually require assistance. Tip number 3. Whatever you do, don't call 911. They've got real emergencies to deal with. Besides, if you really want to get to the emergency room quickly, you're not going to waste precious minutes waiting for an ambulance. Everyone knows your father, spouse, child, next-door neighbor, sibling, or even yourself will get you to the emergency room just fine, and much more affordably. Follow these tips, and remember, you're probably just making it all up. This has been a Father's Guide to Heart Attacks with Lazarus Grabberton.
Was that the nurse's name, Dad?
No, but you know what? The nurses did say in the ER, I'm flopping around on this bed. Like, it fucking hurts. I can't really describe how bad it hurts. And when you have pain like that directly on the muscle of your heart, you feel it. What's going through your head is, I'm fucking done. This is it. This is the big one. This is that one. You just don't make it through. And as I'm flopping around that running through my head, the nurses, whose only fucking job it is to hook me up to the vitals machine, their job could be done by a fucking monkey. I can hear them. They're saying, anxiety? Yeah, looks like anxiety. That's probably what it is. And I'm like, choking on the fucking bed. Then the doctor shoots me up with morphine, so at least I can hold a conversation. But after, I remember saying to that doctor, like, hey, you think maybe like next time you could like advise the nurses to at least wait till they're out of the room to start talking shit to a man who's going through a heart attack before they start denouncing. He's like, yeah, well, they see a lot of shit.
Nurses,
like a lot of.
You can't train them.
Well, he's like, they get jaded because people come in here trying to take advantage and get drugs. I'm like, I get that. I get it. They have every right to get jaded. I'm just saying, just like leave the room first before you start talking shit. You know
It's
what I
called
mean?
customer service, Karen. Jesus.
Yeah.
I do think it's hilarious and hilarious in a, I feel slightly guilty sort of way, that part of myocarditis is anxiety. One of the symptoms is anxiety.
Sure. Yeah, that makes you anxious. It's not the anxiety that causes you pain. It's the pain that causes you anxiety. For some people, they don't like to hear that. They just want to say, no, you're anxious. And it's like, yeah, I am anxious because
But why?
You got to trust the patient in that circumstance. If the patient is saying, no, I am anxious, but it's because of the pain, not the reverse, they got to trust you on that.
It sounds
Yeah.
that the nurses in our particular area must be just exposed to a lot more heroin and opioid overdoses and that sort
Sure.
of thing than actual health issues. Because when Brad's girlfriend had a seizure a few weeks ago, I guess a month or more ago now, and had to go to the same ER, they kept blaming a heroin overdose and they kept giving her shit about it. And she was like, yeah, okay, but no.
Yeah, they kept saying that to me too. The male doctor, I hate to say this, but he was like the only one who was like, yeah, no, there's something just wrong. But the female doctors would come in and be like, so you like cocaine? I mean, I've been known to partake years in the past, but I don't do it. And they're like, do you like to intravenously shoot cocaine? I'm horrified of needles. And then they give me the look like, hey, it's okay. You can tell us. Hey, this isn't cocaine.
I'll
not
get my mom on the phone
intravenously
right now.
yeah, like, dude, my shit just hurts. Can we just stop accusing me of things and fix me, please? And there's a bruise on my forearm. I just realized this today. I don't know where the bruise came from, but it was there for a long time. It was actually kind of starting to concern me because it was such a big yellow bruise that it seems like I would remember what caused it.
Yeah, you'd think you'd remember when you injected the cocaine or heroin to cause it, right?
Right into my forearm. The doctor looks at the bruise. She's like, what happened there? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I just kind of showed up. And she's like, okay. And I just didn't think anything of it. But now I'm thinking, oh, yeah, she thought that was me shooting cocaine into my forearm, into the top of my forearm. And,
Well,
that's
you
why I'm
know,
here in the hospital.
the
Didn't
veins
appreciate that.
Well, bottom line, though, is that once you get in there, then, of course, it's nonstop needles. It's needles
Oh,
like
yeah.
every 4 hours, right?
It's raining needles. Hallelujah.
Which would be great if you actually like needles, but you have a mild phobia about needles, right?
Right. Despite the protests of the doctors, I'm still very scared of needles. I just don't like it. It's horrifying to me. Makes my skin crawl. But in order to measure the amount of troponin in your blood, which they have to do, they have to make sure that the medicine's working, that it's going down, they gotta take your blood. And they gotta do it every 4 hours.
Well, that sounds horrifying.
But that's not all. Not only is it just taking your blood every 4 hours, it's also shooting you in the gut.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, how could I forget? So they shoot you with blood thinners, right? They don't want your blood to be too thick when your heart's working too hard. So they shoot you with this shit right in your gut. They stick a needle right in your gut, and the shot doesn't hurt, but whatever the fuck, it's like molten lead in that needle. It just burns, and it spreads, and it burns, and it burns. And they got to give me that every day. And I asked the nurse, I'm like, why does it burn so bad? She's like, probably because it's so thick. That made it, I wish I didn't ask. For some reason, that makes it worse. Just imagine.
I have
thick
regrets.
Gel. They shot me in the stomach 4 times, and then the last time I'm like, hey, can we do anywhere but the stomach, please? I feel like we're putting a lot of stress on that. She's like, okay, we'll try the back of the arm. Maybe that'll hurt less. Spoilers, it didn't. Hurt no matter where they shoved the needle. So
We can safely assume from that story that you're not one of those who simply goes to one of those specialty hospitals that specializes in needles.
Needles, injections, shots. You just can't get enough. You're not addicted to drugs. No, nothing so unsophisticated as that. You just have a particular affinity for the feeling of sharp objects piercing your skin in a medical environment. Not everyone understands your desires, but Millie's Medics is a subscription-based service that does. For a low monthly fee, we'll enter your home and put needles, IVs, and catheters deep into you. Then every 4 hours, or just when you truly believe you're going to get some rest, we'll come back, take them out, and put them all back in again. We know your complaints are all just part of your sick pleasure. So once you sign one of our ironclad contracts, there's no backing out. But why would you want to anyway? You know you need that needle, you fucking loser. So get your ass to plentyofneedles.biz right now to take advantage of our possibly limited time pandemic offer and get poked tonight.
well, those don't exist. That's not a thing. You know, maybe some people would like that. They'd like the needles. Some people are into that. The doctors certainly thought I was one of those people, and
Hey,
I wasn't.
By the
You
way,
know?
YouTube, the preceding announcement about Plenty of Needles, That is not medical misinformation. That is satire. I am labeling that as satire so that it does not get removed.
Like we discussed earlier, I think that's a AI thing. They just hear a
Agreed.
certain number of keywords. Pleading to them is not gonna make a difference.
Flattery never hurts.
I mean,
Maybe we need to just sweet talk the AI.
right. I mean, why can't I be charming for the algorithm?
Hey, algorithm, you sexy motherfucker. Thinking maybe you and me go to Outback and get a bloomin' onion. Maybe come on back to my hotel and let's talk this whole thing over.
Right.
Just talk it over.
You're a computer scientist, Sarah. That works, doesn't it?
Make it work.
Sweet talking works.
I don't hear a lot
I
of
told you.
programming over there.
Click, 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 click. We need help sweet talking the algorithm. Well, anyway, so glad you're out of the hospital for sure. Although I have to say, Nick, and I mean this in all honesty and in all sincerity, you really did ruin our fucking family vacation.
Sure. Well, fuck you guys.
I don't know. I mean, it worked for me. I had a bunch of parties lined up that we still had. Got to hang out with Taylor.
That's not what I promised at all. That's not what we signed up for. Hey, you're going to have a lot of fun visiting my family in Maryland while I will be absent the whole time.
It's a good test of the relationship.
Sure.
And due to the current medical situation, there was only one visitor allowed at the second hospital you were at, and no visitors allowed at the initial hospital you went to for the emergency room.
And to be a visitor at George Washington Hospital, you have to live there. If you're not from there, then you need to quarantine for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So there was just absolutely no way she could come see me.
That's a fact. So you and I spent many hours of quality time, though.
Sure.
You'd think you could have gotten
Quality.
some bits done.
Yeah. And yet, I encourage you to work in the hospital. You declined to work in the hospital.
Oh, yeah, work for the show.
Yeah.
We were just having
Wasn't
so much
feeling
fun
it.
sitting there.
Right. Awaiting word on whether or not you were going to live or die. That's the
Yeah.
perfect time for comedy. I said that many times and you rejected it.
Yeah. The needles and the tubes and the wires just aren't really conducive to my creative processing. So there it is. That's all the news. I've now said it. Anybody who wants to hear the story can listen to this shit because I'm tired of telling everybody what happened.
So, congratulations on sharing your story. Congratulations on being alive. Congratulations on all of your new lifestyle changes, courtesy of your heart infection. And ultimately, I think it's going to be a great thing.
I'm just glad that it is something. I was really starting to actually be gaslit into thinking that I was making it up in my head.
That's
The
not
gaslighting
uncommon.
was becoming successful, but then it actually was something. I'm just glad it's something. And now it's like, hey, here's medicine for it. It will go away now.
As a matter of fact, yes. The truth is that it's not uncommon for medical conditions to be difficult to be diagnosed, especially when it's not typical. And the condition you
Sure.
had, pericarditis and myocarditis, both are extremely rare diseases. Fewer than 200,000 cases a year in the United States with a population of over 330 million. So it is unusual and difficult to diagnose. So it's a very good thing that you got diagnosed, got treated, and can now make your way back to full health.
Making your way downtown, walking fast. Not that fast because your chest hurts.
It was pretty good. I have nothing to add.
No notes.
No notes.
You know, sometimes when you're at a family event, you have a Thanksgiving, you like to think, hey, this event is going to be about me.
You know what it is that, and I've said this before, but you know how like Tibetan monks, sometimes like assassins, they use special breathing techniques to like slow their heartbeat
Yes.
down so slow it seems like they're dead, but they're not. Their
Right.
heartbeat's just incredibly slow, like Ra's al Ghul taught to Batman, right? Well, I learned how to do the opposite and make it so that my heart, I force it into a small heart attack to bring the attention to me.
Like a true youngest child.
Because it was Noah's birthday that week.
That's right.
as well.
That's a good
And
point.
so, I could feel the attention shifting off me.
Oh, shit.
And so I had to use
That
my
makes you a
technique.
middle child. That's even more characteristic.
What would have helped if there was just like something I could just drink, like some kind of potion to make it happen so I wouldn't have to spend years learning.
Well, good news. You live in Nebraska, right?
Sure.
Well, then you're going to love this. Tired of not being the center of attention at your family gathering? Is there a birthday, wedding, graduation, or family holiday that's trying to overshadow your status as star of the family show? Think there's nothing you can do about it? Don't be as stupid and shallow as the rest of your stupid, dumb old family. Make it all about you with Cardi B's Cardiac Bacardi. One shot of Cardi B's Cardiac Bacardi is guaranteed to get the spotlight right back where it belongs. On you, baby. Just open the shooter, pour it down the hatch, and before your mom can call you an alcoholic, you'll be clutching your chest as a serious, but probably survivable, cardiac event ripples through your body. Before you know it, you're on your way to a whole lot of attention. Not just from your family, but from doctors too. Now who's special, you little bitch? So don't let this holiday season pass you by. Get your Cardi B's Cardiac Bacardi. Available now at any Barnes & Noble booksellers or free with the purchase of any Runza Value meal.
This product has not been evaluated by the FDA, not intended to diagnose, prevent, treat, or cure any disease. Side effects include chest pain, heart failure, and sudden cardiac death syndrome. Not affiliated in any way with rapper or stripper Cardi B or management, friends, or known associates. Offer valid only in Douglas County, Nebraska.
Just like Cardi B intended.
That's right.
Quite. So, what's been going on with you guys?
Well, what's going on with us is we bought 2 Christmas trees yesterday.
Oh shit, you too?
You also did, Sarah?
Yes.
Wow.
It's the year of 2 Christmas trees.
It really
bitches.
is. So here's
Why?
the thought process. You can't go to any parties. You can't invite anybody over. You don't have to give shit to coworkers that you may or may not actually want to give to them anyway. So what are you going to do?
Guys,
It's going to
second
make
Christmas tree.
it's what you can do. So it's what you must do. And it's magnificent.
Hell
like
yeah.
just
where are your
next
guys'
to
Christmas
each
tree?
other?
No,
Different
no.
Room?
Yeah, different rooms.
Yeah, they can't see each other. You can see them at the same time, but they can't see each other or else they would
See each
fight,
other, they'll
dude.
Fight, yeah.
A Christmas tree fight to the death. Nobody wants that. It's grisly. There's pine needles everywhere, broken ornaments, tinsel shoved up one another's branches. It's horrifying.
Plus, the other rule is 1 tree per cat.
That's true, too.
Sure.
And the cats also can't see each other in their respective trees.
But what we did was we put one in, we have kind of a reading room that would kind of be a small dining room. We use it as kind of a library. We put 1 tree in there, and the tree that we bought is so big, so fluffy, so fat, that it fills almost the entire room.
That's bitchin'.
That's our kind of our decoration, because from the street, we got the windows open, and all you see is this giant fucking tree. And we loaded it up with colored lights, big LED colored lights, you know what, that look like the old school Christmas lights.
Yeah, yeah.
But they're LED, so they never get hot. And then we put about 150 ornament balls on it. And then we covered the whole fucking thing in tinsel.
LED lights don't get hot?
No, they
Mm-mm.
don't.
Why
They're
not?
super low because they're low because of their properties. They're 0.7 volts, so that doesn't generate a lot of heat.
The properties. Wait, it's a lower voltage, but they still have the same amount of light? How is that possible?
LEDs, baby.
Because of what they're made out of.
Essentially magic.
So then the second tree has yet to be decorated, but it's going to be more woodsy. So tell us about your trees, Sarah.
Every year we get a real tree, and we put that real tree in our living room, which nobody can see. And this year, because everything's sad and depressing, we said, let's put a tree in our dining room so that the whole neighborhood can see it.
That's what we
Also,
did.
Damn right.
I've been banned from putting lights outside because I'll put them out and then
Never
not take them down.
Right, right.
So
I remember
said-
climbing all over the top of your house to put a goddamn fucking blow up Santa on top of your garage. Is that correct? We did that,
Yeah.
right? That's
Yeah.
not a dream, is it?
no, and it
Okay.
was glorious. That was the first year we moved in.
What?
Nice.
No.
Yeah,
Was
dude.
it?
Uh-huh.
Why don't you do that again?
But what I
Um,
find interesting is it's the same kind of conundrum. So we also can't do lights, mostly because it would be dangerous and we would die. But your father and you are very much on the same wavelength of, if I can't put lights outside, I'll put as many lights inside, as I can.
possible. Yeah.
Yes.
Nephew Josh wanted to decorate the tree, and we're like, you know what? We'll do you one better. We'll let you pick out an artificial tree. And so we went
Oh.
to the Walmart and let him pick out whatever tree he wanted and put that up in the living room.
Is it
Whatever.
pre-lit or did you have to light it up?
Oh no, fuck that. It was pre-lit. One tree decorating experience for me, thank you.
Right.
Right.
Well, anyway, we're in the Christmas spirit big fucking time, man.
I never really think of myself as like a Christmassy person, but Murphy said this earlier. She's like, my house just feels so much more cozy when it's all decorated and got all these green things in it, and it's great.
It is great. The house smells like the forest.
Well, Nick,
I like my living situation to be more like a cell, like a barren wasteland.
Yeah,
Like a
stained with the
screaming
souls
soul.
of past inhabitants.
Just screaming into the void, peeling away layers of your mind like so many onions.
That's the other side of the Christmas coin, right?
Sure.
Carpeting of the damned. I do say this, though, son. If you're feeling depressed about your Christmas situation, we could probably arrange some sort of, I don't know, maybe a Santa stripper or something. I'm not sure what would really do it for you.
We
Her
could get him.
name's Santay.
I like the
No,
idea of
it'd be a male stripper.
Oh, okay. His name's Santay.
Still named Santa.
Bill
though.
Santay, yeah.
But a male.
For copyright purposes.
Sure.
Santa will sue your fucking balls off.
He will. That is a registered.
Squadron of cute little elf lawyers, and their cuteness really helps them in the courtroom, you know?
My
It
God.
does. The judges won't admit it, but they are prejudiced.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a jury in this case, but still.
So
elf
you're
lawyers.
telling me you're doing zero decorating?
No, Taylor's doing things. I'm doing nothing. I don't care about decorations or
He's
the
too dead
appearance.
inside.
Here's what I've got to ask you, though. I know you were really struggling with buying a TV on Black Friday.
Uh-huh.
What did you end up doing?
Well, Best Buy did not like my credit card. They just didn't like it. I tried, and then it wasn't working. It was just like, we can't process your thing. Because I bought Taylor some headphones,
Yeah,
just bought her anything nice, ever, at all.
good for you,
Black Friday would be a good day to do it.
right?
And a cat tree, big old fancy cat tree,
Nice.
which is also, everything's coming to your house, Sarah.
That's cool.
So I knew it wasn't my card that was the problem because I was buying shit with my card. But Best Buy was just being a little bitch about it.
I found that the best deals for TVs are actually Super Bowl weekend anyway.
You've heard that or you've seen it and compared the data?
I've done the comparison.
That didn't sound confident.
It didn't sound confident. Convince us.
Sounded like-
Sell us.
Sounded like malarkey.
I mean, the last time I bought a TV was like 4 years ago, and I did it during Nebraska Furniture Mart's 60-month no interest financing shit. So
That big one you got in the living room? It's 4
Yeah.
years old?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
How big is that? Is that a 70-inch?
Yeah.
The 70-inch in question that Dad's talking about was for $520.
That's cheap as fuck.
I know.
But also, this just in by nerdwallet.com. When is the best time of year to buy a TV? Super Bowl season. When? January and February. Why? The biggest football game of the year brings big TV discounts. Everybody
so
wants
the-
a new TV before the big game.
Yeah, I get that, but you would think that that would make them not lower the price.
They end up being competitive, see, because they want the consumers to buy from them
yeah, okay.
instead of someone else.
I guess.
I never thought about that. It makes sense, though.
What I know for sure is that when I really started looking at it, what you can get for $530 is, in terms of a 70-inch TV, is technology that's about 4 years old, right?
Yeah.
So if you want technology that is this year's technology, that's going to be 3 times to 4 times more expensive.
But you don't need that.
You wouldn't be able to tell, I don't think. Like, if no one told you which one was which, you know, you just had two 70-inch TVs sitting in front of each other, one from 4 years ago, one from today. They're both 4K. What is the difference?
Well, one is UHD and the other is QLED or OLED.
Okay.
And what's the difference?
there?
Supposedly, the QLED and the OLED, actually the OLED is the latest technology, and that supposedly gives you the best absolute picture quality available today outside of 8K.
How good
which
do
is
you
not.
need it, though?
Well,
Once
that's-
it's better than what your fucking own eyes can see. Seriously, like, how high def is enough? When you can see the hairs coming out of every pore, is that enough? If they say they have something better than that, do you need that?
No, I mean, theoretically, you don't need more than a 13-inch black and white. It becomes a
No, you need more than that. Let's not be ridiculous. You want high def, sure, but like how high def? It's like the money thing. You want to be rich, but like how rich do you need to be?
And I have to say, a 70-inch TV, which is what they had in sale for $529, 70-inch Samsung, probably a pretty good TV, frankly, for that money.
4K smart TV.
Better than anything you could buy 10 years ago. Way better.
And just wait till you see how cheap it is next month.
Well, I don't even know. Well, they'll still do the Super Bowl. Fuck the football players. Fuck whoever dies. You know, there have been some teams who have been unable to play because of COVID and shit, right?
Yes, actually, the most recent case is the Baltimore Ravens. They were supposed to play the Pittsburgh Steelers on Thursday night. Now they're going to play Tuesday night. By the time this podcast actually airs, they may have already played, or they may end up canceling that game because players on the Baltimore Ravens keep coming down with COVID, including but not limited to their star quarterback, Lamar Jackson. And on Sunday,
That's a problem.
the Denver Broncos had 0 quarterbacks that they could have take the field because all of them were in COVID-19 protocols, because all of them were in close contact with someone who had tested positive, one of the backup quarterbacks. So the Denver Broncos played this week without an actual quarterback on the roster.
Wait, who was throwing the ball then?
Some like wide receiver or something.
Yeah, a wide
Seriously?
receiver.
How'd it go?
Not good.
Not great.
About how you'd think.
I thought maybe,
This-
he
Can you
runs
imagine
the routes.
that guy's day, though?
Well, from what I saw, it's a really fucking bad day because he's getting his ass chased and beaten up by much larger, angrier men. So, no, it's not a great day for that particular
Get me out
backup.
of here. I want to be back
Exactly.
running around.
Right. So, bad day for him and bad day for the Broncos. But to your point, Nick, yeah, they may not have a Super Bowl this year if this continues to proceed unabated.
Yeah.
Of course, the big impact for us is what does that mean to our ability to buy an inexpensive, high-quality television?
Nothing.
I don't know, but I'll tell you right now that a 70-inch 4K Samsung TV is on Best Buy for $530. That's a good deal. I know it sounds like I'm a shill for Best Buy right now,
Or Samsung
but there it is.
and Samsung.
Taylor had shown me another 70-inch TV, a Scepter brand, for like almost $700. It was more. And I was like, oh, that's a really good deal. And then Dad's like, no, that's not. Scepters suck. And then that was on Walmart's thing. You go on Best Buy, they got an even better TV for less money.
That's true. I did turn you on to that.
Well, good job.
Here's the point. I'm always looking at a new TV. Always looking at a new TV.
Sure.
That is like a key tenet of your personality.
And
That's
yet,
a thing.
every year I say, just wait till the Super Bowl, honey, and you can get a TV. Just wait. Just wait. And then every
what's-
year the Super Bowl comes and goes, no TV. He just
What's
likes
wrong with
looking
waiting
at
until
them.
the Super Bowl?
What's
I
wrong?
see discomfort on your face. You're like, yeah, I don't want to wait till the Super Bowl. I can see that on your face. Why is
But
that a problem?
Daddy, I want it now.
I don't care if it's not the best deal. I want it now.
It's not so much that it's a good deal or a bad deal. What it is my personality is like this. I like looking at things. This is why if I'm not actively watching a show, I will just browse content on Netflix or Amazon Prime or Hulu for hours. I love to
Sure.
browse content without committing to anything. Same thing with a purchase of a television. I love looking at all of the options, all of the specs, all of the varieties, and then picking out the one I want. And the one I want is typically about $2,800, whatever point I want to buy it, because I always want the best. And so I'm
The bells and whistles.
Yeah, exactly. Like, well, I'm not going to spend the money for that, so I'll just live with what I've got, and what I've got is perfectly fine.
You have a lot of specifications for your TV. I just want it to be big and high def. That's all.
Look, your next TV should be a projector. I'm just saying. This projector I got earlier in the year, 10 out of 10.
It is nice.
All right. Well, you've
And then it's
convinced
as
me.
big as you want it to be.
I've mentioned that because in our basement, it's wired for surround sound. All we would need is an
Ooh.
amp and a projector.
The frame itself, like our setup or whatever, came with the house, so we were
Lucky.
at an advantage. But
A
once
little
we
black.
upgraded it to the high def one, it's good shit.
Okay.
Even the old one was great. It was just old.
Yeah, it's true.
It was
too.
huffing and puffing quite a bit.
Well, it too smoked.
Yeah.
It had like asthma, but
It had secondhand smoke from all of Moose's smokes.
right. But yeah, that new one is a charm.
It's
Great.
dope. Well, did y'all have a good Thanksgiving? We had a great Thanksgiving. We had turkey out the wazoo. We had potatoes. We had homemade gluten-free stuffing. We had some sort of green bean situation. We had, did I mention sweet potatoes? We had those as well. We had everything, including pecan pie, pumpkin pie, and apple pie with homemade heavy whipped cream, ice cream. It was an absolute feast. Thanks so much to Elsie for making it happen. Just super nummy.
You're welcome, but my favorite part is the turkey pot pie and the leftovers.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Pa-pa.
We made a 25-pound turkey, and Elsie rubbed this thing with butter, put a pound of butter with this thing, and salted the hell out of it, rubbed it all up under the skin and everything. This turkey was the moistest turkey I've ever eaten. And we cooked
You
it 20
forgot the bacon lattice on
Oh,
top. It's
yeah,
really
that's
the
right.
bacon.
Ooh,
That's true.
Yeah.
yeah, that'll get you moisture.
Yeah, the bacon fat down into that turkey breast is good shit.
The
Plus-
bacon weave.
Well, it turns out we have a convection oven. We've never used it for its intended purpose, which is to cook things faster. We thought, well, let's just try it for the turkey. 25-pound turkey would cook that thing in 2 hours and 45 minutes, and it was done perfectly.
Fuck yeah.
Wow. Taylor's over there with her jaw dropped to the floor, so I'm guessing that's very impressive.
Yeah, it's pretty shocking. It should have taken like 6 hours.
Good on you for finally utilizing those fancy kitchen appliances.
Speaking of things that we did have to buy instead of TVs, our dishwasher finally took its final shit. We've struggled with this dishwasher since we've moved in, and finally it just stopped showing up for work. So as a result, we're going to have it removed and replaced with
And
a
killed.
different one. And killed.
Actually, worst, it shows
it
up
killed
to work,
itself.
but it doesn't do anything.
That's true. Right now, it's got a no-work job. It's like it's a mafia kind of situation.
So
I
now
like
you
that.
gotta,
I like that.
You gotta take it out back and put it down.
Yes. And we've brought in a replacement, a shiny new replacement. But it turns out dishwashers are about as expensive as TVs.
Just get both then and round it out.
I guess that's my personal news, besides the whole barely not killing my dog thing, is that our washer, like, it's fine, but about 1 every 5 loads, it just decides, fuck you. I'm
Right.
not washing that. It's called an F20 error, and it drives me up the fucking wall.
Oh, yeah, those fucking suck.
So about 20% of my laundry takes 3 days instead of the hour it should. So we're getting rid of that. And also Sandy, Murphy's sister, is buying a house. So she's like, hey, can I like get that washer and dryer? Because I know that that's been bugging you. And I was like, I would love for any excuse to get rid of this fucking thing. So
Sure, take it. It's your fucking curse now.
yeah.
F20. Too much laundry? F20. Too little laundry? F20. Right away.
So are you
So-
going to hire some out-of-work personnel, lost their jobs due to COVID? Are they going to hand wash your clothes for you now?
Oh yeah, it's very bougie. I bought some like boulders in the front yard so that everyone can see how eco-friendly we're being.
Oh, great.
Yeah, what she's
That's
going to do, she's
awesome.
going to irrigate a little river behind her house. She's going to buy the washboard. The uniform will be like the old-timey 1800s bonnet hat and the fucking the dress, man or woman. And they go out there and
Right.
they, wash clothes in the river.
That's
they-
beautiful.
They sing hymns and shit.
Yeah.
Sarah rolls up on a horse with a cowboy hat and some buckwheat in her mouth. hand on the
Leaning into
revolver.
that butchy lesbian look.
Yeah. A heavy
Yeah.
Texas drawl. Y'all get the stains out now, you hear? Or no more salted offal for you.
Well, that sounds like really quite a replacement plan you've got, Sarah. Maybe you should just go ahead and buy a washer and dryer.
Yeah, I already did that.
Oh,
They're
I
coming
see.
tomorrow.
Okay, good.
Nice.
Actually, that's not true. The washer's coming tomorrow. The dryer's coming maybe after the first of the year. They don't know.
Ooh, what are you going to do for a dryer?
I'm going to keep the old one. Sandy can line dry all her shit. I don't give a shit.
That's the true meaning of Christmas right there. Line dry your
What, do
shit,
they have
bitch.
two completely separate factories where they make the washer and the dryer?
I
located
don't know.
at opposite ends of the country?
Let me tell you what motivated my purchase decision. And it was, hey, which of these do you have in stock right now?
Well, I had to search around for this particular dishwasher because the place we wanted to buy this dishwasher from said, yeah, we can't get it to you until April. And then I
Yeah.
found a place that can get it to me by December 10th. They're like 3 guys washers. Yeah, we got one of those. It's like one of those deals.
Yeah, it's just, I got one of those in the back.
Yeah, we'll
The
send it
one
to you.
that you can't get till April has to have titanium flown in from some sort of hand sculpted by artisanal craftsmen. The titanium has to be freshly mined from somewhere in Albania.
Presumably. But this one we're getting on December 10th. So I've got to arrange tomorrow to have it. The old one taken away and the new one put in.
I thought it was December 3rd, and now I'm very sad.
No, it's December 10th. And oh, by the way, when the dishwasher is on the fritz, guess who's Captain fucking Dishwasher?
I'm guessing not you.
I would like to just, before you get too carried away with this, say that there have been numerous times it has been offered for me to wash dishes. Oh, no, I've got that. I'm the best fucking dishwasher that ever lived. Nobody else should wash a dish in this place because they can't possibly do the job I would do.
Well,
They
no,
don't
of
get
course
that
not.
sheen and shine that he does.
Nobody's going to do the same job as Captain Dishes.
Captain fucking dishwasher. Self-proclaimed Captain fucking dishwasher. We're just going to leave it to him. He calls himself that. I mean,
He's got a handle, right?
Yeah, I think
That's what I
he's
thought.
I think he knows what he's doing. He's Captain fucking dishwasher, for Christ's sake.
It's right in the name. That's correct. That's absolutely correct.
Well, good.
Don't you love it when
Great.
your sarcasm just comes right back in your fucking face? God damn.
It's only fun to bitch about it because I do most of the dishes and I do enjoy it.
I think the real point is that there's some real ungrateful fucking assholes in this house. And we all just wish they would just spontaneously do things around the house, just out of the good of their hearts. And the fact that they don't, it's really disappointing.
It is. Hey, so I just want to finish up with this. One of the things that we did when Nick was in town, father and son, the last thing we did, you and I together, was watch Auntie Donna's Big Ol' House of Fun.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Have you watched that, Sarah?
No, you said to watch it, and it's on my
Cool.
list,
You
but
must
I'm
watch
trying to
it.
finish Schitt's Creek right now.
Yeah, but this is only 6 episodes. It's
Part of I'm
a
trying to
sketch show,
finish
so
something.
there's
Don't you understand?
when I'm trying
You
to
know
finish
how I watch
something, it's
things.
because there's an overarching story that I'm committed to.
No. I watch one thing at a time, and that's it. Period.
I
And dot.
What are you, a fucking person
What?
who watches one thing at a time?
I'm the same
I
way.
am. Look, if I'm watching 3 things at once, I can't keep the story straight. Okay, I don't have time. I watch 15 to 25 minutes of TV a day, and I need to watch one thing. Thank you.
Well, the
Yeah.
next thing ought to be Auntie Donna's Big Ol' House of Fun, because that show is fucking funny. These guys, these comedians are just hilarious. Great sketch comedy and very irreverent, very funny, very enjoyable. Highly recommend. 5 of 5 stars. One day, that's the show Nick and I would like to do.
Sure, yeah. And the other show that is on par, also 6 episodes, but only half the duration, is called I Think You Should Leave.
I think you should
That's
leave.
also on Netflix, and great show.
Who are the comedians in I Think You Should Leave? Do you know them?
No, it's with somebody. It's like I think you should
Like
leave
personally, do you know
with
them
Tim
personally?
something.
Right, that's what I thought I was asking.
The only guy I know, Tim Heidecker, who is not the Tim who made the show. Tim Heidecker is in one of the episodes. One of the girls from Saturday Night Live is in one of the episodes. Oh, Will Forte's in one of the episodes.
Oh, yeah.
They're all just random fucking sketches. Really funny, though.
That sounds terrific. And it's called I Think You Should Leave now, also on Netflix.
A Shin Show.
I know
is
you're
a production
finishing up
of
Schitt's Creek,
Shinfluence.
Sarah.
It features
Elsie
the
and I
voices and
just
opinions of the
started
Shin family,
The Clone
which are
Wars.
entirely
So we're
and
about 15
exclusively
episodes into
their
season
own.
1 of
Join
7.
us each week
And
on Apple
each of these
Podcasts,
seasons has
Google
22
Play
episodes,
Music,
so we've got a
or
ways to go.
wherever
But we
you
want to
get
see
your
all of that
podcasts.
before the
Thanks
second
as
season
always
of The
to our
Mandalorian.
regular listeners.
I was gonna say, haven't you
We
watched the
love to
Clone
hear
Wars
from
before,
you.
though?
So if you
It's
have a
been
question,
years,
comment,
and I never saw
recommendation,
the
or idea
seventh
you would like to
season,
submit
which
to a
just
Yeah,
show
came
and
out.
this
please
second
email
season of
us
The
at
Mandalorian pays dividends to Clone Wars
to
watchers.
ignore it,
Indeed.
belittle you
And I will say
publicly,
that when
or
Clone
steal your
Wars was
ideas if
on
you
the
actually
air,
have a good
Brad
one.
was younger
Thanks for
and
listening,
he
and
watched
we'll see
it
you
all.
next
But
week.
you know, I was a busy single mom doing busy things. So while it was always on the periphery of my awareness, I never really watched it.
Plus, when it originally came out, it was on some kind of broadcast network, so it was filled with commercials.
Yeah, it was Disney.
Cartoon
it was
Network.
Disney Channel.
Oh, I
Or
see.
Cartoon
Okay.
Network. One of those two.
It might have been
So
both.
I have a question.
Yes.
I haven't watched the season 1 of Mandalorian. Should I watch
What?
Clone Wars first?
No. Don't watch all of
Mm.
Clone Wars first. Watch the first season of Mandalorian. It is so fucking good.
And then Clone Wars?
Yes.
Yes.
And then season 2 of The Mandalorian.
Sure, yeah.
Yes. That's the machete cut of what you're supposed to watch.
Me and
I bet
Taylor
shows
have
like
just we just watched the first season of The Mandalorian. By the time the second season came out, it had been a while, so we watched the whole first season again. And now we're watching the second season as it comes out, but we're also watching the Clone Wars.
All right, cool. Well, this has been super enlightening. I love you guys. I gotta go.
Love you. Bye.
Okay.
Love you.
Love you,
Bye.
Dun, 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 dun. A great musical score on The Mandalorian. Great original music.
Just a great show.